In today's video, I'm going to break down NZDUSD and show you what I'm expecting this market to do in the upcoming week. I've got a free 13-part video series, which is a course that's going to show you why you're not winning at trading and how you can turn your results around. It covers 10 different topics from risk management to technical analysis and even through to trading psychology, and that's totally free. So if you want that, head over to the link in the description and sign up now. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a good weekend. It's time to dive back into a new week and I'm going to follow on from last week's video which broke down NZDUSD and my short plan for this pair. So starting out, what I showed you last week was this daily supply zone, and I showed you from this point down that I was anticipating shorts from this area. Now, after I did that, I broke it down a little bit more. We went to the lower time frame, we identified this liquidity. We identified that this had been retested on the 4-hour, but on the 1-hour, there was actually a refined supply zone, which was actually this one here. And this was the prime point for me for actually selling this pair. So what I was anticipating was a push into this supply and then a rollover. And then after the rollover, I would then be looking for confirmation entries to get into a trade. Now, as we saw, the market did push a little bit higher than that supply, but it stayed within the daily supply I showed you and gave us a very fast, very nice reaction to the downside. Now, I did see a few people actually caught this initial move down. I've been getting messages and also in the free Discord as well. However, this obviously was not the confirmation trade that I was planning, right? The one that I shared with you. So for this week's price action on NZDUSD, I am anticipating continuations down. We kicked it off very nicely with that analysis last week and we did get it right for the most part. But now we need to actually find an entry opportunity within the current price action. Now, as we can see, we had a dramatic sell-off and we haven't had much room for pullbacks whatsoever. By doing this, we've actually also broken through this next substructure, higher low. We've then broken through this next substructure, higher low. Now we've broken through a more significant higher low as well, breaking price truly down through this area. Now if we go to the 4-hour, we can see there is a lot of open space here to trade through. And we do have that bearish bias kicked off by the fact we had a nice daily supply retest after sweeping liquidity. So one thing I must note on this pair, however, is that this is the true daily swing low, being this area here. Because if we look at this daily trend, we have the low, then we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, so we did then have actually a higher high, higher low, higher high. Now we've broken through. That's the first daily area. But I do believe that this is going to, provide some support for the market. So what we would want to do is probably take some profits within this area, or when we come towards this low, we may very well see the market come down like this in some way, trade into this area, potentially sweep, and then make its pullback for another short opportunity. So we should be looking at actually locking in some profits when we reach this area in case of obviously a reversal that could easily be avoided and missed profits that we don't really need to miss out on. So as you can see, right now I am looking to sell. I'm keeping these same targets in mind. We do have a very extended target down in the lows. Looks like I've cleared that off the chart now, but that is going to be this area down here. And on the way down to there, of course, we can also look to trade through these lower levels. And then this demand also acts as quite a nice little area for taking some profits as well. That's going to bring us into around 0.64500. And the major area is going to bring us in towards around 0.62400. So what we can do now to initiate shorts safely is actually look for quite deep pullbacks. I mean, the daily area here shows a very clear daily supply. If we could look for some pullbacks into that area, we could definitely look for some selling opportunities to bring down all the way through these levels. But for me, this isn't really refined enough. I would not be taking a position like this because just look at the size of the stop loss, right? Stop loss here is going to be around 100 plus pips, meaning even towards that, we're not even getting 2R. We're only just achieving 2.5 there, 3.5 there, and so on. So the risk reward on this move, considering we have potential for 600 plus pips of downside movement, is just not good enough. So what we need to do instead is actually find a refined area within here to trade from, and that's what we're going to do now. So by dropping the market down to the hourly time frame now, we have a kind of clearer picture of what it is we're looking for. This is the daily supply we just marked on, so it's possible the market could pull towards this area and then sell off. Now if we do that, there are obviously some very clear areas for us, the most primary clear area being the extreme zone right up here in the high. If the market is able to push into this area, it's likely that it's going to fill all of the area because this is essentially an open imbalance price gap. So if the market can actually push above, say, these levels here, then it's very likely that we will go and see that extreme zone retested before we sell off. Now, this is a prime area we could use sell limits for, because if the market's able to get up there, it's a very high probability point to sell from. So we could look at movement something like this. Obviously, being on the hourly time frame as well, it's possible we could go with the midpoint. But you do have to remember that you can sometimes miss a move by opting for a midpoint entry. But then we could look for a short down, and that's actually going to raise the risk reward from 1.78, which is, I believe, we were looking at with a 100 plus pips stop, to 15R. And that's just on the initial move down. Now, there's obviously larger targets to push towards, and this could make the trade dramatic. Very, very big trade to actually run down. Now, that's not to say that this area will definitely be retested, but as a prime area for selling, this would definitely be the place that I would opt to use the sell limits, and the place I would look for these higher risk reward, high probability entries. Now, from a confirmation focused approach, we could also look at some of these lower areas. The one that stands out heavily to me is this one here for pretty obvious reasons. I'll break that down now. What we've seen here is a supply zone that really broke through that significant point, right? If we look at this supply, we can see that the push down from this supply broke this level and opened us into this price imbalance. We've then pushed through some of this efficient area as well, leading me to believe that this isn't going to be a reversal point yet for obviously a larger move to the upside. So this is the move that really kicked off the latest piece of bearish action by breaking through these floors. There's also obviously heavy imbalance, and what that shows me is that this was a very strong area. We had efficient price, efficient price, efficient price. Then we formed this supply and we had a big sell-off. So that tells me that this area was a kind of premium area for selling, and there was a lot of selling pressure coming into the market here. So for the more immediate shorts, if we were to get confirmation within this zone, I would definitely be interested in looking for a short down. Now, notice how I said confirmation is essential on this movement. Obviously, the top zone being the extreme zone would work with sell limits. But if we were to sell this low in the trend, we would definitely want to see confirmation so that we're not getting into a trade too early. So the kind of movement I would be looking for if we were to look for shorts from here would definitely be this reversal confirmation to come into the market, which could bring us down towards that 0.6790 level and then potentially beyond through our other targets. Now, the beauty of this one is we won't be getting into a position unless it is definitely confirmed. And if we do get in confirmed, we can look at stops around this area, around 15 pips. And that is going to give us some really nice risk reward down towards those targets of 10 to 20 plus by the time the full targets are complete. So those are my ideas for NZDUSD. We obviously have this selling point and this selling point, and these are the prime areas for me that I believe the market will reverse from this week that could provide some really nice opportunities. So keep your eye on NZDUSD. Keep your eye and mind on this analysis, and I hope that you can put it to good work and get some really nice trades out of what the market is providing to us. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.